Thank you for joining us today. Student really here. Very here to be at anyone joining virtually, that's what um, and so with that, Emily, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Fernanda, and thank you everybody this morning for being out here. Yeah, without further ado. So throughout this presentation, I will be going to take you through color, but I'm also trying to elaborate further, kind of intellectual development, professional development, and community engagement. And then after that, I will go through my little fun slides with my iconic favorite meals slides towards the end. And then lastly, something that I haven't done before that I'm very grateful to do this year is give a special thanks to the mentors that have completely made my third year. And for that, I'm very grateful to start my presentation. Okay, so the first way I feel that I have embodied the knowledge or intellectual development pillar this year is working as a teaching assistant for Dr. Aaron Castle's genetics course. This is my third semester being Dr. Castle's TA, and it has really taught me things that I would have never known about myself for not having this opportunity. For one thing, if you'd asked me a year or two about my thoughts on teaching, I would have told you, no way, gave you thumbs down, something I'd never be interested in. However, with working with these students, I've realized it's less about the teaching and more about the meaningful relationships I get to have with them. You know, like, I love to figure out different ways that I can teach a question or a concept, and just for my students to have that sort of eureka moment where, oh, learning it this way didn't work, learning it that way didn't work, but finally the third way, you know, that I've learned it, I'm finally starting to understand it. Being a student myself and having those moments myself, you know, having the opportunity to give that to somebody else has been such a gift that I don't think I would have ever experienced if not for being Dr. Castle's TA. That third little bullet point in there, just a little blurb about my success rate. Every student in the top 18 students in the class were my students, give or take one or two, you know, super bright, don't need me students. And I like to think of this kind of statistic or report as less of like a bragging on my end, but more so just like what it really means to be a TA. Like having a TA in your class can really give amazing results, and I'm really lucky to be a part of their success. You know, every one of my students who takes Dr. Castle's course, and they do really well, and they thank Dr. Castle for his amazing teaching and myself for kind of helping push them along the way. It really means something to me. And it, you know, I've obviously gotten to use my knowledge, my experience in Dr. Castle's class myself, but it's also taught me something back about what teaching is, and that I might actually like to pursue it as, you know, a professional job. I'm really grateful for the experience. And then some asides for academic or intellectual development. I have my GRE preparation. You know, I've been studying for the GRE ever since winter break, and I'm really thankful for everybody in this room. You have personally pushed me to keep going and studying for it. The GRE is a graduate school exam that I have to take in order to gain entrance into anesthesiology assistant school, and it has been a challenge to study for this alongside being in my classes. I'm sure all of you know, but I'm really excited to announce I will be taking the exam toward the end of May, and I'll keep everybody posted on how well that goes for me. And then on the right, you know, I always like to include some of my favorite classes that I've had in the semester, and the, you know, one that sticks out to me the most is the class that is Advanced Clinical Medicine and Pathology. So in the fall and spring, I took Introduction in Advanced Clinical Medicine with Dr. Forshuber here at UTSA. You know, and I was just doing it to satisfy that upper division credit as well as an honors credit, but I actually found it to be incredibly useful because I love the classes where I get to apply what I've learned in the academic sphere to real world application, and that was with clinical medicine and pathology. I clicked advanced specifically because there are some people in this room who are my group mates, and I really enjoyed collaborating with them to work on presented case studies. So if you don't know what a case study is, basically you're given this like paragraph of the situation with little clues and hints about a patient, and it's up to you to use those to figure out a diagnosis for your patient. It's very nerve-wracking because, you know, we come up with their diagnosis and we present it to the class, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. But if it's right, you know, you can continue and present your case to the general public or the rest of our class. So my group this year went over intussusception, hepatitis, tuberculosis, and pertussis, and I'm happy to present that we were 3 for 3. We got all of them correctly, so it was a really fun experience that I got to have with them. I cherish, you know, the memories that we spent putting together those presentations and just working with each other in that. So that's another way, I guess, in which my intellectual development has grown, you know, further than just hardcore studying in the classroom, but actually getting to present that information to be something useful. And then on the very last part, I put mentoring younger scholars because, you know, when I was a freshman and a sophomore, I would go to my upperclassmen scholars for just about anything. What classes do I take? How is this test? I would really ask them. People who were 2 years older than me, I'd be like, do you remember how the second test for this one specific class was? Can you believe that? But, you know, I'm really happy to say that finally it has come back into return. Younger scholars have asked me the same questions. And, you know, if any of you know me, I'm kind of like a hoarder with my old stuff, my old notes and everything like that. So I was able to pull it out and help them. And I think that this is really a moment for me where I was able to step back and be like, wow, look at the knowledge that I have accrued over the last 3 years. You know, it's a joy to be able to give that back into the top scholar community. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about are some leadership positions that I had this year. The first one on the left being the Student Government Association. I was a junior senator and I represented the College of Sciences here at UTSA. I worked in the academic and the environmental sector, but I really worked mostly with the environmental, and our main goal was to improve the transition between students from high school going into college, using kind of the knowledge and the skills that I've gained with being a TA in Dr. Castle's class. You know, I'm able to kind of recognize the deficits of where students, you know, have challenges whenever they're going from the high school classes to being here at UTSA. The College of Sciences is very supportive in those students, but of course, you guys know there are always some students that, you know, trickle down and are not necessarily able to succeed in the way that they would like to. There are certain identifiers into how we can mark, you know, which students are going to struggle and which students are going to succeed. And we're trying to use those markers to help us catch all of the students and make sure that they are successful in their time here at UTSA. And then on the right, some pictures from my experience with UTSA Global Brigades. So this past year, I was a vice president for UTSA Global Brigades, which is an organization that spends the year fundraising money and getting ready to donate it to our country of choice for holistic medical care or dental care. So this year, our country of choice was Guatemala. And here are just some pictures of that one on the left. Right here is a picture of our booth from Best Fest. It was like some concert theme, but we decided to make it like a Candyland. We were selling candies. Our booth won 3rd best decorated booth. Although I really do feel like before the rain, we would have been first place. And then on the right is a picture of just one of our poster making socials. And although it might not seem like a lot of people, I am particularly proud of this photo because last year our organization had mere 5 people. And then this year we were able to raise that number up to 20. So that's like 4 times growth, you guys. Like, I'm very proud of what our organization did this year in terms of outreach and fundraising that money. And I'm excited for the upcoming. Okay. And then aside for the leadership, I have some photos of professional development experiences that I've had this year. The one on the left, as most of you know, I work as a patient care technician at Methodist Hospital Stone Oak. And I work in the diagnostic imaging department, so the radiology department. Some skills that I've learned are, you know, taking vitals, learning how to safely transport patients, starting IVs. And really, I spend the most of my time at the hospital comforting patients about, you know, what procedures are they about to start, what scans are they about to get. Because when you think about it, you're in like your most vulnerable state, you're laying in your bed, and somebody's gonna tell you they're gonna shove you in a tiny scanner circle for like 30 minutes, and you're meant to just sit there and lay still. And then if you don't stay still, then you're gonna sit there again for 30 minutes. It's it's a daunting thing to tell them, right? And so I spend the most of my time grabbing patients and just conversing with them about what is about to happen to them, what concerns do they have, and it's been a really beautiful experience. As an aside, I included that with the help of my PCT role at Methodist Hospital, I was able to surpass my goal of 1,000 patient care hours. Yeah, I'm very proud of this achievement. Patient care hours or patient care experience interactions is really what I hold the most dearly to my heart. It's a reminder every time that I get to interact of what it is that I'm working towards, which is, to make a patient feel safe, to provide them with an excellent level of care. And so every time that I get to go into the hospital or I get to take care of a patient, that is an experience that I get to have, refurbishing my skills and making myself, a better future provider. On the right, I am very happy to show these pictures of myself in the locker rooms of North Baptist Surgical Center. So this semester, as most of you know, I was able to finalize my decision in my career goals, which is that I want to apply to certified anesthesiology assistant school. With that comes some shadowing in the operating room or the OR, which was pretty difficult to find, but I'm happy to say that, with the help of some mentors from Methodist, I was able to get in contact with some certified anesthesiology assistants, as well as a certified registered nurse anesthetist, and get myself into that OR. The experience was incredible. I've been in the OR before, but only as a PCT, so I didn't really get to just sit there and watch. I was like handing them blankets and the fluids and things like that. But shadowing an anesthesia provider was really an experience like no other, because I got to see kind of their process, what their mind goes through when they're adjusting the gas, administering the medicine. It was a really cool experience that, I wish everybody could have. I couldn't take any pictures of myself in the OR due to, HIPAA reasons, but I thought you might enjoy these pictures of myself in the locker room before and after. Okay. And then to kind of go off of that, my professional development, I wanted to let you guys know my summer goals. That should be 2024. Don't know why, it says 2023. But this summer, I will be studying abroad in Dresden, Germany, in the June. Over there, I will be completing one of my honors courses, my CSH course, and I will be studying German culture, art, and science. One trip that I'm particularly excited for is that we will be taking a trip to the International Hygiene Museum, which is located in Germany. A lot of people would consider Germany to be the birthplace of modern medicine. And fun fact, it is actually the birthplace of modern anesthesia. So I didn't know that until pretty recently, which made me even double excited, to go. And I will also be able to have some hospital experience over there. So I'm really excited to kind of go and learn what the healthcare experience might be in another country. And then after my studying abroad, I will be returning back to Houston, my hometown, and I'll be continuing to apply for certified anesthesiologist assistant school. And last but not least, I have community engagement or service. The first experience that I wanted to talk about is something that is very dear to my heart. It is the Lunches of Love Foundation, which is charity local to Houston, or really Richmond, where I'm from in Houston. Lunches of Love, if you didn't know, is a charity that packs sack lunches and uses community resources to help pack free lunches for students who might not have a lunch in our community and in our district. I remember when I was growing up, I remember Lunches of Love being a really big part of our community, and I remember peers and I, just being able to grab lunches. And it was really, looking back, an incredible thing, because instead of, being worried about what they're going to eat for the day or being hungry, students really just got to focus on being a kid, going to classes and enjoying their time there. And so when I decided that I was going to UTSA, I really wanted to keep that charity in mind, but it was going to be difficult to volunteer and pack lunches if I'm 3 hours away, So what I decided to do my freshman and sophomore year was to decorate bags. The foundation asked for decorated, little brown bags for staff lunches. And this is because, when they give students their free lunches, oftentimes they're sitting down with their peers who have, lunch kits that are decorated and have their favorite characters and everything like that. So Lunches of Love asked for pre-decorated bags to fill with their lunches, so that when they go to lunch, they have also a decorated bag of characters that they can talk about with their peers and such. But this year, I'm really proud to talk about just the sheer numbers that we did for Lunches of Love. So not only did I decorate bags with my cohort for our cohort service project, but also with the help of AED, or Alpha Epsilon Delta, which is our Health Honor Society here at UTSA, and Student Psychology Association, we were able to collect and properly decorate over 500 bags to donate to Lunches of Love. So when I go back to Houston, I will be giving those bags to them, and 500 students will be able to have decorated lunch bags for their school lunches this year. And then secondly, I was a flautist for the St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church. So I do play the flute. As most of you know, I was very active in the music sphere in high school and middle school, and I gave that up professionally here at UTSA. But I was really missing the music world, and one way that I was able to kind of get back into it and donate my time was to, play the flute for my church and really kind of just play our music for our community. And then lastly, I put scholar adopt a spot so that I can include a little picture. So here is my adopt a spot group for the fall of 2023 on the left. The middle is just an image of sheet music that I used. I didn't have any pictures of or videos of me playing the flute in church because it's kind of like you shouldn't have your phone out at church. So I just included a picture of sheet music. And then lastly on the right is a picture of some of the bags that we were able to decorate for Lunches of Love this year. Okay. Now to the fun stuff. So I just wanted to give an update, my annual update on my cat workshop. Top left is him just being absolutely terrified because he's being held by Colin. And at that time, Colin didn't know how to hold cats. And then on the top right is him taking naps with me in between classes. I never got to sleep because he's away a lot. So, that wasn't peaceful for me. But it's doing well for all of you cat lovers out there. So thank you for that. Okay. Some things that I did for fun this year. I had fun in many ways. Some that involve, still doing the extracurricular stuff for school, like on the picture on the left, is a picture of my roommate Gabby and I decorating for our Best Fest booth. We spent hours painting these little peppermint stripes on paper plates to use for our booth. That's why I think we deserve first place, but that's beyond me. The bottom right picture is a picture of myself and my two brothers, Colin and Mason. This is us celebrating Colin's cancer remission with the Make-A-Wish Foundation in Disney World. And then the middle picture, I traveled to New Orleans this year. I was really lucky to have that experience, so I included a picture of their char-grilled oysters at Superior Seafood. They were amazing. And then the top right is just a picture of some beloved friends of mine. And I have tons more pictures, just none like fit in this presentation. And then almost last but not least, that food though. Again, my top 10 meals of the year. Yeah, take your phones out, take your pictures. I know that's what you've been waiting for. So I'll go through this quickly. Left to right, top to bottom. Enchiladas verdes at Taqueria Data Point. The Chef's Choice Nigiri at 19 Haraku, a new sushi place that opened up on Broadway. The middle is their famous wings from Wayne's Wings, Colin's favorite spot. We actually went there after top scholar selection, so meal well served. Some Texas Gulf shrimp at Cherokee downtown. Brisket green curry from Curry Boys, also downtown. Something for fusion you wouldn't expect for both the curry and the brisket to be good, right? Because it's fusion, but they both were phenomenal. Highly recommend. They just sell out before 6, so plan for that. Asada tacos at Taqueria West Ave. No explanation needed. Everybody knows about those. Lobster rolls from Garbo's in Austin, Texas. Curry chicken nachos at North Street Curry Shop in San Marcos. That was courtesy of top scholar Jose Morales, who brought us to that spot. It was phenomenal. We got the original Link Sound noodles at Mion in Stone Oak. And then that last picture, I hope you don't want to eat it because that is scallop and shrimp and grits from Bearcat Cafe, which is located in New Orleans. So if you ever wanted to go have that meal again, unfortunately you would have to travel 8 hours for that. And then last but not least, I have a special thank you first to my team at Methodist Hospital Stone Oak, particularly Austin Bolton, who is the director of diagnostic imaging, Mary Keller, the manager of diagnostic imaging, and then Joseph Bushy, who is my supervisor and also the team lead for the patient care technicians and runners at Methodist Hospital. These 3 people, along with the rest of the team that is pictured in that image, have been, simply put, a key part of my development this year as a scholar, And as a student, they have connected me to so many people. They have really led by example for what it means to be a fantastic healthcare provider. They've helped me so much in my growth, and they support me every day. And so, I would just like to give my thanks for everything that they've done for me throughout the year. And then last, but certainly not least, I would be remiss if I didn't give a proper thanks to my faculty mentor, who is Dr. Erin Castle. Dr. Castle, actually, I don't know if many of you know this, but Dr. Castle has been mentoring me since before I even came here to UTSA. The summer before I started my freshman year, I was an esteemed scholar, and so Dr. Castle was one of our mentors, and he was a lecturer actually for our Bio 1 mini prep course. I did awfully on his exams, right? The first one I got like an 84, and I studied so hard for it, and I was very embarrassed, but it was a kicker, right? It really taught me that there was going to be some work that needed to be done from going from high school to college. And so with that experience, I was able to get my studying up, change my techniques. And then I took Dr. Castle for genetics myself as a sophomore in the summer, which was a tough class, but so rewarding because Dr. Castle's class is one of the few classes where you actually should be challenging and applying yourself, going beyond the textbook, beyond the classroom, really mastering the concepts and questions. And that is a skill that I will be forever grateful for, taking his class and learning it. And of course, I won't go any further about being his TA, but I will tell you is that I've been meeting with Dr. Castle every week for the last year and a half. What an incredible person to learn from. I mean, there's so much wisdom, so much knowledge that is imparted to me, not only academically, but professionally and just worldly. I mean, Dr. Castle has encouraged me to pursue the profession of my dreams. He has given me wisdom that I can't even learn inside of the classroom or maybe even online. Sorry, I'm getting a little choked up. But your mentorship means the world to me, Dr. Castle, and I wouldn't be able to have made it this far or do all the things I have gotten to do in my third year without your help. So thank you. That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for coming to my interview presentation. It means a lot, and I'm ready for your questions or comments.
Thank you, Emily, for sharing with us, how your junior year went. There's so many things I was like, wow, like I did not know about you. So that's super cool and super amazing to see. I know we don't get to interact a lot, but you're doing amazing things. And I took a picture of your food slide. George is not here today, unfortunately. He said, we for vacation, and he's a foodie. And
yeah.
So I was like, just like, no, I took a picture of you. But super impressed with what you're doing, and I'm super, ecstatic to see what's going to be next for you.
Thank you for that.
We also have a comment from Christy in the chat. She says, congratulations on another great year.
Thank you, Christy, for joining in and for that comment. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
I'd like to share a couple words. You don't have to.
I want to say it's been great for me because Emily's been a great, absolutely fantastic TA. And when I get my evaluations, there are always several mentions of her, usually saying things like, I never would have survived this class without Emily. And it's really nice for me to know that the side of explaining the problems and helping students is something I don't have to think about really. It's going to be taken care of really, really well. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Glad you explored the TA role and enjoy teaching as well. Not everyone can do it. Not everyone, but a lot of people will be like, I've already explained this to you once, I'm not explaining it again. But it's good that you find different ways to explain it until they actually understand it. I admire that a lot. And an 84 is not doing terrible.
When comparing it to high school, I thought it was going to do so well on that test. I thought I was going to get just a straight 100 and everything like that. But little kick in the butt before the semester never hurt anybody.
Reality check.
Yeah, it helped a lot.
Anyone else in the room would like to say anything?
but I'm really glad we got to know each other more this semester. I wish we had earlier on, but just getting to know you has been really great. And when you mentioned mentoring younger scholars, that's definitely I've gotten so much help from all your previous notes and all that, and both educationally and like just personally, you've been a really great help for me. I'm really excited to see you like get accepted into anesthesiology in school, and really excited to celebrate that with you next year.
Thank you, Ani. That means so much to me. I was trying to keep it private, the scholars, for, for your personal reasons, but, since you decided to mention it, I really appreciate everything that you said to me. And of course, I've had such a fantastic time just interacting with you as a top scholar, but also as a friend. Well, that's it.
Well, thank you, Emily.